How to elicit someone's strategy. That's the topic for the day. Have you ever seen a master locksmith work? It looks like magical. He plays with the lock, hears the things you aren't even hearing. He sees the things you aren't even seeing. And he feels the things that you not even felt. And somehow he really manages to figure out the entire combination to the safe. Master communicators work the same way. You can figure out anyone's mental syntax. You can open the combination to the vault of his mind or your own way of thinking like a master locksmith. You have to look for the things you weren't seeing before, listen for the things you weren't hearing before, and feel the things you weren't feeling before, and ask the questions you didn't know to ask before. If you do that so elegantly and very attentively, you can elicit anyone's strategies in any situation. You can learn how to give people precisely what they want, and you can actually teach them how to do the same thing for themselves. The key to eliciting strategies is knowing to people will tell you everything you need to know about their strategies. They will tell you in words. They will put all their thoughts into diction. They'll tell you in the way they use their body. They'll even tell you the way they use their eyes. You can learn to read a person as skillfully as you can learn to read a map or a book. Remember, a strategy is really simple. A specific order of representations. Yes, the VKAOG model of the NLP. The visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory and gustatory. That produces a specific result in any human being. All you need to do is get people to experience their strategy and take careful note of what they do specifically to get back into it. Before you can effectively elicit strategies, believe me, you must know what to look for, what the clues are that tell which part of a person's nervous system he is using at any given moment. It's also important to recognize some of the common tendencies that people develop slowly with the passage of time, and they actually use them to create a great rapport and the results which are visual. For example, people tend to use a particular part of their neurology, maybe the visual, the auditory, or the kinesthetic more than the other. Just as people, they are right-handed or others are left-handed. People tend to favor one mode over the other. But before eliciting someone's strategy, we need to find out his main representational system. People who are primarily visual, they tend to see the world in pictures. They achieve their greatest sense of power by tapping into the visual part of their own brain. Because they are trying to keep up with the pictures in their brain, the visual part tend to speak quietly and more quickly later on. They don't care exactly how they get into it, but they're just trying to put the things into the words from the pictures that they have seen or imagined or really fancied. These people tend to speak in visual metaphors. They talk about how things look to them and what patterns they see emerging in their mind. And people, on the other hand, who are auditory, they tend to be more selective about the words they use. They have more resonant voices, and their speech is slower, more rhythmic, mellifluous, and they're more measured. Since words mean a lot to them, they're really careful about what they say. They tend to say things like, "That sounds right to me. I can hear what you're saying. Everything clicks to me." On the other hand, the third part, that's K for kinesthetic, they tend to be even slower. They react primarily to feelings, their voices tend to be too deep, and their words often ooze out slowly like molasses. Kinesthetic people, they use metaphors from the physical world, always grasping for something concrete. The things are heavy, intense, and they need to get in touch with things. They say things like, "I'm reaching for an answer, but I haven't got a hold on it yet." So they are more into the touch feeling. Everyone has elements of all the three modes, the VKA. O, G, maybe in some, maybe not in others, but most of the people have one system that's always dominating. And when you're learning about the people's strategies, you really comprehend how they make their decisions. But you also need to know their main representational system so that you can actually present your message to them very well. Just by watching people and listening to what they say, you can get an immediate impression of which system they are using. And NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming, utilizes even more specific indicators of what's going on in someone's mind. It's long been said, eyes are the windows to the soul. So simply by seeing And by being observant, by watching a person's eyes, you can immediately see which representational system he uses at a specific time, the visual, the auditory, or the kinesthetic. The key to effective elicitation of a person's strategy is putting himself fully associated with the state of mind of that person. NLP is just like the neurophysical or the physics of the mind. Physics deals with the structure of reality, the nature of the world. On the other hand, NLP does the same thing for your mind. It allows you to break things down in the component parts that make them work. People have spent lifetime trying to find a new way to feel totally loved. They have spent their fortunes trying to get to know themselves, and NLP gives us the technology to accomplish all these and many other goals very elegantly, efficiently, and effectively. And now is the moment to learn all that things. I would put that NLP is the heart and soul of our life. And if you really want to feel excellent for your life and you want to fuel your excellence, the only thing that you can do is work on your physiological aspects. Yes, the only thing that we have to talk about is that NLP is the heart and soul. And we can easily accomplish what we want by just telling your neuro, that's the mind, the language that he understands, that's your own thoughts, and putting and programming them the way you want it to work. And just see, life is so beautiful. Yes, life is what you want to make it feel. And life is not what you actually see, life is what you actually make it happen. And I must say at the end, that you are the role model and the architect of your own future. And time is not far when you can actually see the things working really well for you. So begin at the beginning, the king said gravely, and go on till you come to the end, and then stop and see how the eliciting of someone's strategy works in your life too.